Please subscribe and you can download this code from description below. Title: Understanding Infinity in Python, Exploring Large Floating Point Values. Introduction. Floating point numbers in Python, like in many programming languages, are represented using a finite number of bits. This representation comes with limitations, and when dealing with sufficiently large floating point values, you may encounter the concept of infinity. In this tutorial, we will explore why large floating point values become infinite in Python and how to handle them. Understanding floating point representation. Python uses the IEEE 754 standard to represent floating point numbers. In this standard, a floating point number is divided into three components: sign, exponent, and fraction. The exponent represents the scale of the number, and when the exponent becomes too large, it results in an overflow, leading to infinity. Code example. Let's explore this concept with a simple Python code example. Consider the following code. In this example, we define a large floating point number, 1.0 times 10 to the power of 308, and multiply it by 2. The result should be a value beyond the representable range of floating point numbers, leading to an overflow. Executing this code will produce the following output. Here, INF indicates positive infinity. When the result of a floating point operation exceeds the representable range, Python uses the INF notation to represent infinity. Handling infinity. It's essential to handle infinite values gracefully in your programs. You can use the math module to check for infinity and perform appropriate actions. Here's an example. In this modified example, we use math.isenf to check if the result is infinite. If the result is infinite, the program prints a corresponding message, otherwise, it prints the actual result. Conclusion. Understanding why sufficiently large floating point values become infinite in Python is crucial for writing robust and error-resistant code. By being aware of the limitations of floating point representation and incorporating appropriate checks, you can handle these situations effectively in your programs. ChatGPT.